Welcome to Everything Psychology. Today, we're looking at a condition you have almost certainly felt, but likely misunderstand at a microscopic level. Body registers the discrepancy between physical proximity and true connection every single time. Loneliness is a measurable biological state. Epidemiological data confirms that chronic social isolation is as dangerous to your long-term survival as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. To see exactly how it causes so much damage, we have to redefine the condition. Loneliness operates independently of the physical head count of people around you. It relies on your brain's internal measurement of how safe and connected you feel within those relationships. But when your nervous system fails to register that safety, it triggers an ancient, mortal evolutionary threat response. The brain senses danger and initiates a biological cascade that changes the rules of your survival. Neuroscientist John Cacioppo spent decades mapping this process here at the University of Chicago. He wanted to look past the psychological pain and track the physical metrics of isolation. He found that an isolated body is locked in a persistent, low-grade threat response. If you are chronically lonely, your levels of the stress hormone cortisol remain elevated. Your sympathetic nervous system, the network responsible for fight or flight, refuses to relax. Your body is perpetually bracing for an attack. This visualization shows the cellular response to that constant bracing. The persistent stress triggers a shift in gene expression. Specifically, the lonely body upregulates the genes responsible for producing chronic inflammation. At the exact same time, the body downregulates a separate set of genes tied to your antiviral response. By living in a state of perceived isolation, your body reconfigures its internal defenses to become worse at fighting viruses. Your immune system is actively reprogrammed by social deprivation. That combination of high inflammation and low viral defense creates the biological environment to drive chronic diseases like cardiovascular illness and Alzheimer's. The lethal scale of this damage becomes clear when looking at a massive dataset analyzed by researchers at Brigham Young University. By tracking over 3 million participants across 148 different studies, they found that social isolation increases the risk of premature death by 26 to 29%. The cardiovascular system absorbs the brunt of this damage directly. Chronic isolation consistently raises blood pressure. It increases arterial stiffness, disrupts heart rate variability, and accelerates the buildup of plaques in the arteries. A lonely heart is a clinical description of a cardiovascular system under sustained threat. If we look at a neuroimaging diagram of the brain, we can see why the body stays locked in this threatened state. The lonely brain's threat detection center, the amygdala, becomes hyperactivated. This creates a state of constant social hypervigilance, where the lonely brain actively scans for signs of rejection. Because the threat radar is turned up so high, it begins to misinterpret social signals, viewing neutral faces not as indifferent, but as hostile. This hypersensitivity kept early humans alive. In an ancestral environment, a socially isolated individual was vulnerable. A human separated from their tribe required a hypersensitive threat radar to survive the elements and predators. Today, that ancient adaptation creates a modern trap. The resulting hypervigilance makes everyday socializing feel exhausting and dangerous. Feeling that danger triggers further withdrawal from friends and family, which deepens the isolation and tightens the cycle. The pain of isolation operates as a self-perpetuating neurological trap. The condition actively guards its own existence by making the cure feel like a threat. And the brain's evolutionary vigilance mechanism refuses to shut off when the sun goes down. Even in complete darkness, the lonely mind stays on guard. This hypervigilance results in frequent micro-awakenings, unconscious fragmentations of your sleep architecture. You might not remember waking up, but these interruptions block you from reaching the deep, restorative sleep necessary for cellular repair and emotional regulation. We measure the biological cost of this compounded stress and sleep deprivation by looking at telomeres. These are the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes, acting as a biological marker for how much cellular damage your body has absorbed over time. Under the continuous strain of chronic isolation and inflammation, these telomeres shorten significantly faster than they do in socially connected people of the exact same chronological age. Loneliness does not just feel like dying slowly, Biologically, isolated cells are aging faster than their chronological years. We are living in an era that has accidentally engineered the perfect conditions for a public health epidemic of isolation. Remote work has erased incidental daily contact. Social media offers the performance of connection without the substance. Single-person households are at record highs. The first step to surviving this environment is to approach loneliness with the exact same medical urgency you would bring to high blood pressure or a compromised immune system, because the data confirms that is exactly what it is. Your nervous system requires the biological signals of physical presence, eye contact, vocal tone, and touch. It craves deep, authentic safety, not a shallow digital head count. One truly close friendship does more for your physical health than 50 surface-level acquaintances. When you make the effort to connect, you will likely feel a spike of anxiety or exhaustion. You must recognize that discomfort as a miscalibrated threat system rather than actual danger. The antidote to the poison is the thing the poison is telling you to avoid. Feeling lonely is a sign of biological functioning rather than a sign that you are unsuited for human connection. It is an ancient, insistent alarm, proving that you are built for connection. If this video put words to something you felt but couldn't name, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Everything Psychology and leave a comment below. When do you feel most lonely? Your answer might be the one that helps someone else feel less alone tonight.